So before we start with today's video, I would just like to thank each and every one of you for your great support. I have finally reached 1,000 subscribers and that wouldn't have been possible without you guys. So I thank you for that, and let's start with today's video. So to celebrate this special occasion, we need a special video, right? So in today's video, we are not going to look at a showcase or a tutorial. We'll actually be taking a look at the evolution of my figures over the years. So let's get started with today's video. So as you can see, there are 3 boxes in front, and no, I'm not reviewing a hand mop, a pop jar and a random Amazon package. These boxes contain some of my handmade action figures from the past few years. So let's take a look at the contents of the first box. So this is my first box, and as you can see, that's my artwork when I was small. So let's open it and take a look at what's the inside. I just hope a cockroach doesn't run out of this. This has been in storage for a long time now. So okay. So yes, a box full of random stuff because so there's a Black Panther here. We have, okay, so this is a much older figure. So this is a figure with the wireframe. So this is Ultron, by the way. Yep. If you think my newer figures look bad, yeah, this is how my older figures looked. Then that's Spider-Man battle damage of the half. Okay, there's a whole lot of stuff over here. Okay, this is another figure that appeared on the channel, the Velociraptor. Then who else do we have? Joker. Much older figure again. Anyways, I'll sort through all of this stuff from this box and I'll carry on with the video. Okay, taking a look at the second box now. Here's a gem now. This guy. This figure was my first video on YouTube. If you go to my channel, and you'll find this figure as my first video. I actually made a video on him in 2019. So he's about 5 years old now, and he survived the test of time. So as you can see, yeah, the proportions are all wonky and stuff like that. We'll take a closer look at this figure later. Then what else do I have? Okay, I have Pennywise. Yeah, Pennywise is in pretty bad shape, as you can see there. So also have this Spider-Man here. This was the superposable. Okay, this guy's, his arms falling off. So this guy's not as good as the first Spider-Man I made. But yeah, we'll take a closer look at this figure too later on. Okay, let's move on to the third box thing. Okay, so these are the contents of the biggest box. That was the mop box. And most of these figures appeared on my channel. So you can see there's Black Panther over here. His arms missing, but I'll find that later on. We'll take a closer look at this figure later. And there's the remains of Steppenwolf from Zack Snyder's Justice League. We also have the Ghost Rider's motorcycle over there. There's Spider-Man over here. I know his arms there somewhere in there. We'll take a closer look at this figure also. Oh, this guy. It's from Avengers Endgame, and I forgot his name. Yeah, but I made him too. What else do I have? Spider-Man. Oh, this one's in pretty good shape actually. So we'll take a closer look at this figure too. Man, I missed the 6-inch figures I used to make. So I'll just sort out all of this stuff and then we'll take a closer look at everything. Okay, so as you can see, these are some of the figures I've chosen from the box. So in this first section, we'll just be taking a look at how my figures evolved basically from this to this. Okay, we'll start by taking a look at this figure over here. So this was way back when I just started making figures. So this is supposed to be a Hoth trooper from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. as you can see, it's not that great, right? There's no sculpt or anything on this. It's just basically paper wrapped around a wire frame. So I used to use a wire frame earlier. I did not have a joint frame. So all of these joints over here, can't even call them joints actually, they're like fake joints. But it was a wire frame, so you could get all sorts of posability. And yeah, like he had articulation, but yeah, of course the details. I want to take a look at his face. Yeah, that was his face sculpt before. That's supposed to be the nose right there, and that's his eyes, just black dots. So yeah, anyways, that was the first this, and that's a headless Batman, also from the same around the same time. Both similar figures. So then I got bored of these, and I said, yeah, it's finally time to come up with my own technique and make some joints. So yes, this is supposed to be Spider-Man, and this was when I just started making jointed figures, you could say, figures with a joint frame, and this is how they looked. So just take a closer look at that. Yep, that's Spider-Man from Spider-Man Homecoming. So yeah, this figure had all the joints basically, but they would break or just fall off and all. Double hinge and all the have the ankle articulation also. Yeah, and also if you noticed, the proportions are rubbish, so that was a thing. And then I came to this. So this is a figure when I started my YouTube channel, and this figure basically made me want to start a YouTube channel. So as you can see, it's a huge improvement compared to the other figures you've seen over there. So it has a similar concept like this figure, but it's just improved. The joint designs are much better on this figure, the sculpt is better. So now I start putting clay on my figures, so that's why they look much better. We'll come to him. And as you can see, there's sculpted web lines and everything on this figure. There's good articulation. You've got hinges, rotation, double hinges in the elbow, and all that. We'll come to this figure separately later. So yeah, so we came to that phase of figures right there, and then I came to this. So this was one of the downfalls while going up, this was one of those moments, and I don't know how I went from this to this. So yeah, the proportions are all off, and the details are there, but like you can't really make out anything, and it's pretty bad. So that was another phase. Similar articulation, now they all have same points of posability. So then I came to this phase. So this was the 5-inch figures. I think these were all 4-inch scale figures. Then I went to 5 inches, and yeah, as you can see, proportions are pretty similar to these two, but again, the sculpt is there, but still needs improvement, you could say. And then I came to something big, and this is where it really took off. The 6-inch figures. As you can see, he's missing a hand, just ignore that. And this is where it took off. I could really put in a whole lot of detail into my figures and fill them up with articulation and everything. Could get them in all sorts of poses like this. Yeah, that's not the best pose, but just something for the camera right now. So like this, and yeah, so these were really interesting figures, but then I did not have place to pose them. So I had to scale the figures down, and that's when I came to these figures. You may recognize him, it's from one of my recent videos. So as you can see, the sculpt is much better on this figure, and it's proportionately much better. Even articulation, I did reduce the articulation compared to them, but it was for a good reason. That was to make the figure look better, aesthetically pleasing, and more structurally sound. So yeah, That's the end of this video, but in the next video, we'll be taking a look at the evolution of Spider-Man and Black Panther. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.